can run this. I think we could do bottom path on the ninja. Usually run top path, but bottom path is good at taking out mobs. And, you know, if nothing else, we could put something down here to cover our bases. This guy, upgrade him to top path, Juggernaut. You'd be able to take out pretty much anything that the game throws at us. Not getting to round 80, so pretty safe.
This had better be worth it.
Man, I feel like I kind of ran out of stuff to talk about. We're not even an hour in yet.
Feel the sun's power.
Still looking for a job, or curious. I have a phone interview on Tuesday with a local arts program. Well, not exactly local, it's like, I don't know, at least 45 minutes away to drive there. Not longer. You know, it's a bit of a drive, but it's not like the worst thing in the world. Where I live is right. If you ever travel in California, you know what I'm talking about. But you know, there's like a bunch of different mountain ranges in California, and different mountain towns and cities like Joshua Tree, Big Bear, that kind of stuff. And I happen to live in one of the cities that's like in the valley of one of those mountains. I won't say exactly which one because you probably figure it out from me telling you where I live before, you know. But basically, if you live in this town that's on the mountain and you drive down the mountain like 30 minutes, my city is that city that's right there at the bottom. So they kind of consider each other to be local, even though it's a bit of a drive. But you know, if you live in California, you know that's just kind of how it is. Anytime there's a mountain city and a neighboring city in the valley, they're kind of local to each other, even though they're not really. So yeah, this arts program is pretty much local to me, I guess I would say. So I'm hoping I get some kind of job. I don't really know
Grow restless.
what they would have me do necessarily. It's not like a after school program, so they they wouldn't just have me like help out with tutoring or teaching. I mean, they could do that, but I feel like they could also help or have me help out with like setting up equipment and logistics, that kind of stuff. So I don't really know what I would be doing. I hope I get that. That's a cool summer job. I don't know how the schedule will look. I'd have to modify my stream schedule again. I don't really know any details about the job, honestly.
What next?
4 divine bolts at a time. Okay. Cool stuff, cool stuff. So yeah. Still on that job hunt. Got that lined up for me. And if not that, still gotta put out more applications. Unfortunately, the car wash that I applied for didn't call me back for a position, so they probably, you know, went with somebody else, if I had to guess. They did tell me they were applying or interviewing like 30 other people within that same week, so a lot of competition there probably. I suppose there is also a chance if I start practicing my cello a bit more and get back into my studies, like formal music studies, like college studies type stuff. If I get back into that, I could see myself auditioning for a SoCal symphony or orchestra or something like that. But, you know, I have to get back into playing. I haven't really played with an ensemble in a long time. And I'd have to travel for the audition, which might be far. Anywhere in SoCal could be anywhere from like an hour away to like 5 hours away. That could be a commute. And, you know, if I actually get a position in a paid orchestra like that, it's most likely going to be a big commute like that. So I'd have to make sure I get paid well for that. No. Start, honestly. Not what I wanted to buy. So yeah, I mean, I could just try to work at a symphony as a musician, as a performer. That stuff's also real competitive. Typically with paid orchestras, when they hold auditions, it's typically only for one chair, not a whole section. So, I would say my odds of getting into one of those are pretty low. There we go. Got out of that one. Had to pay a little bit of money, but okay. 100 monkey money. Gonna make our money back eventually. I do think that means we do have enough trophies to buy something though. I know we took a look at this last time. Take a look at the Bloons skins. Yeah, I was saying I want the Groucho mask. Go ahead and grab that. Yeah. First cosmetic item, yeah. How fun. Let's go ahead and head into the middle of the road. Try to get these last medals. Alright. So we don't have a Zeely to start us off this time. I do like an engineer at the beginning of an impoppable game. But let's see what we can do. Need to save up a good amount for Adora. I mean, we could just run a couple dart monkeys. I think that will work. That out. But, oh, that looks so weird. Get used to that for sure. That's pretty fun though. That Groucho mask, Groucho glasses on every balloon. I want to try to develop a strategy that doesn't make money, because we're not going to be able to do that during chimps. Let's see if we can just save up for Adora right now. Use her to boost us to like round 30 or something. And then save up to upgrade these guys, and then, you know, see where the game takes us from there. Oh, just put her like right there. We want to pop mobs, top or bottom path on the dart monkeys. Can do that. Same with the camo detection. Leads won't be a problem with Adora.
Transformation.
Purples can be handled by the dart monkeys. And I don't know what we're gonna do after that, after we upgrade these guys. Do a number of things, I think. I think it could be fun to have a monkey ace on the field doing some stuff, or a heli pilot. I think with Adora on the field, we would be safe enough to save up money for either of these. Typically, they're pretty expensive. But yeah, again, with Dora, she can kind of handle a lot by herself, so I think we'd be able to save up for both of them. Probably, if I'm being honest. Yeah, now that I was, mentioning it earlier, the idea of being in a paid ensemble like a symphony or a concert band would be nice. It's just not a common thing for y'all in the industry, in the arts industry broadly. You probably know that it's pretty tight competition. Only so many spots open at any given time. Typically, the spots don't just rotate every year. If you're getting paid for a job, it's not like they would just fire you after a year unless they tell you that it's a temporary job, you know what I mean? So I would assume that people who make the symphonies are typically there for like multiple years at least, for their whole career. But yeah, it would be nice to do that, but pretty tight competition. And again, anything I would apply for is probably going to be a good commute away from me. So I would have to, carve out the time for practicing and commuting. Pretty much all my time, on top of the actual rehearsals and concerts. So, I'll have to think about it. Of course, if I, end up getting a position as a performer in some group, after a while, I could probably afford to move out more local towards that area. But who knows how long that would take. If I'm already living here and commuting, I've got to pay my bills, I've got to help support the house for a while, and I've got to stay, consistent enough in the symphony to not get fired and save up enough money to get my own place. So who knows how long that would take. Not that I'm not going to think about it, I'm still going to think about it, but
Ready yourselves.
just not easy, you know what I mean? Alright, so I think this will work for a while. The heli pilot is kind of one of my favorite towers. This tower right here, the top path, can handle a lot by itself. And, just like 2, 3, 4 of them can shred through most of the game pretty easily. I just typically don't like overusing it because it's so easy that and win. But I think this is pretty balanced. If any BFBs get through, the Juggernaut can take care of that. And any large swarms of balloons, I think Odora and the crossbow can take care of. And, you know, if I get enough money to buy this, it's a really solid tower. Take care of most rounds by itself. So, if I get that, that would be great. You know what though? On the topic of working as a musician in that context, the cool thing about a lot of symphonies, professional symphonies, that they'll post their audition material online for free as like a public service.
Yourselves.
You know, that's nice of them to do. I tried to look up a bunch of different symphonies at some point to get their audition material in case I do want to work on something in the future. And I think really the only one that I couldn't find was the LA Philharmonic, I mean. I found like the New York Philharmonic material, Chicago, Philadelphia, I think, something like that. It's not Los Angeles. For whatever reason, they keep all their stuff lock and key. I imagine it's not too different though. I know Dudamel and the other conductors there are pretty infamous and run a tight ship there, but I can't imagine the New York Philharmonic is operating, you know, significantly differently than the Los Angeles one. Might be wrong about that, but my 2 cents. I guess you know, if it's not cello, I could always try to learn a bit of jazz on my bass and guitar and try to audition for some jazz group somewhere or something. That's not as common really as a symphony, but sure they exist. You know, be part of a band, like a house band that gets paid regularly. I don't know, I gotta explore my options a bit.
Feel the sun's power. Be prepared. This had better be worth it.
Increase attack range and damage to fortified balloons. Okay. A ball of light soon. Great.
We are favored.
So yeah, this is working out so far. We're not making any extra income, so this will work on chimps as well. Gonna get, I think, maybe a little bit dicey once we get past round 75. We'll have enough to buy this, but saving up for this might be a little tricky. Saving up for this also will be tricky. Probably have to choose between
Well done.
one or the other. Which may mean we need to restart if we choose the wrong one. But honestly, I'm confident either one kind of take care of the rest of the game on top of all this other stuff. I'm just gonna hope that we can actually save up for one of them. I'll just buy it. Get enough. Not really have to worry about much.
Yes. I await the chance. Well done. I grow restless.
Couldn't grab crossbow master.
Yourselves. Be prepared.
help thin out the mobs when they start coming in large swarms. Oh, you know what? I just actually remembered that actually a new music store is opening up where I live. There used to be a couple of different music stores. There was one when I was younger. That was, you know, fine. It was or nothing necessarily too remarkable. Not like it was like Amoeba Records or anything like that. Kind of crazy to just compare a local music store to Amoeba Records, but you know what I mean. And then that one closed down at some point, and then there was another one that opened like basically across the street with different owners, and that one stayed open for most of my life, for probably over 10 years. That one just actually closed down this year, earlier this year, no, last year, something like that, I don't know. Pretty recently it closed down, really recently. And I was kind of sad about that because I was kind of exhausting all my options for work. And, you know, granted, I'm not necessarily trained to work at a music store as like a teacher or like a repairman for guitars or something like that. I can work the sales register just fine and sell people some instruments and whatever. I can do that just fine, but anything else I would have to be trained for. I was kind of exhausting my options for work, and I was thinking about working there, but then it closed down. It'd be sad. But the owner of that store actually just started working on opening another shop, basically across the street again. He's been posting updates on Instagram, like painting the shop and, you know, getting it ready for opening day. So I imagine he's looking for employees. If I had to guess, he's probably going to keep most of the same staff that he already had if they're still available. But I do actually know the guy. I don't know him personally, but I've known him as a customer, a local musician for a while now, so we know each other. We're kind of cool like that, so if there was anywhere that I could easily get a job, that might be my best bet. I don't really know if the store is open yet, so I'd have to go back there and, you know, and find out. That might be a good option for me to work. Local, has to do with music. Probably no more than 30 hours a week if I had to guess.
Ready the force of the sun. Embrace the sun.
But yeah, cool beans there.
Feel the light.
I think we're also getting through these rounds pretty easily. We just got tier 4
Favorite.
on the heli pilot. That's good. That's doing good work. We're probably going to be able to save up for this. Take care of the last few rounds, I think, pretty easily.
Be prepared.
Dora's still leveling up. Only level 12? Really?
Favorite.
I should be level like 15 by now or something. Use 5 divine bolts at a time. Divine bolts pierce through even more balloons and even more damage to fortified. Okay, great.
Ready yourselves.
that enough to buy the, this? It is. Thank you. But yeah, the, tier 4 heli pilot, it's a bunch of missiles and attacks faster, I think, flies a little bit faster. Generally, it's just better. Tier 4 on the Monkey Ace just shoots out bombs non-stop, darts everywhere. Might fly a little bit faster, but I mean, that doesn't really matter. Seeks out balloons anyways, you know what I mean? So, good stuff there, good stuff. I guess if we want to, we could probably just go ahead and buy a Super Monkey for the XP, the Beast Handler for the XP. These are the last two monkeys that have tier 5s locked. So, I mean, we might as well just get at least one of each, right? Finally start working on unlocking Paragons pretty soon. Nice. There's only so many to work on, so I don't think it'll be that bad to unlock them. Especially because, I mean, we've been getting XP for all the different towers this whole time well, so I feel like getting the rest of the XP for a Paragon won't be that bad. Not as bad as it seems though. So I am still kind of worried about these last 5 rounds. This round in particular is tough. Just a swarm of DDTs, which may still be a problem. Oh, maybe not. Oh, just barely not. Okay, great. Yeah, that round is a real tough one. Because you kind of have to prepare from the beginning of the game for that one round. There's a couple different towers that can deal with that easily. The Ice Monkey has a power which can basically just mobilize mobs, including those. Same with the Bomb Tower. The Tack Shooter, if you give it camo detection, can thread through those pretty easily. Blue Monkey can slow them down. There's a couple other ones as well, but typically those things are either kind of prohibitively expensive, or they require some kind of help, which, you know, again, costs a good amount of money. So if you're going to run those towers, you have to really just do that from the very beginning, or else you're probably just going to lose. But I'm glad this strategy has worked out. This round is also tricky because of how many balloons come out, but we're going to get through it just fine. Oh. Oh, or not. Or not. Oh, that one hurts. Okay. All right.